Early.
Dropping stuff. Well, Nick told me to be on time this time. Just make sure this stuff works.
Let's get these mics on.
Don't step on my phone.
And if you guys don't mind, just pass the mic around the best you can. So, who wants to start?
Well, I'll start. Yeah. Hey, I just want to first start by thanking everyone. It's another great opportunity for us to be competing in the Sweet 16. Nick has a great little stat in our game notes. The previous 32 seasons, Louisville women's basketball had never participated in the Sweet 16. In the past 12 years, we're going on number 9. And that's a credit to my staff, to the players who have all bought into just changing a mindset, and a culture here. You didn't see us at the end of the second round game throwing water all over me and doing things like that, which is great. I go into the locker room, my kids are eating food, and it was great. They had their post game meals brought to them, and they're like, Coach, we expect to be playing in this, which is what I like. I think it's great. And they're really excited about the opportunity to advance on. The other one, I know all these rumors get started every year in March, every single year. And it never changes, and it's not going to change. All this job, that job, there's jobs not open. Okay? So I'm not even going to worry about that. And we're going to continue now to focus on our basketball team. And that's what we have been. Our kids, they hear it. Sam Fearing just went by me. She's like, Coach, I think this is the 4th year in a row we've heard this. I go, it's what happens. So it's part of it. And I told her it's her fault. If they were bad and we lost a bunch, nobody would be interested or even throw my name in conversations. So I said, if you don't, you can just lose games and we won't have to worry about anything. So it's something that happens every single March. I would like to talk about Sam Williams. Just really excited for Sam to have gotten the head coaching job at Eastern Kentucky. It's something that Sam and I have talked about for the past 2 years, that she has wanted the opportunity to move on, to have a chance to be a head coach. And the one thing about me is if that's what they want, that's what I want to help them do. You can go back to Beth Ann Ord, who was here for a few years and then goes on to Weber State. Cam Neubauer was here for 1 season. And I can remember clear as day, Cam coming to my office, and he was a little like, well, I said, if you want to be a head coach, let's get it. We just went to the Final Four. Let's do it. And he was just shocked. He was like, well, I was only here for a year. It's not easy. It's not easy to get head coaching jobs. And when this came about for Sam, I was just really excited for her. Of course, I've had my text messages and emails. I can't believe they did it now. It's in the middle of the season. It's a distraction. Our kids are excited for her. Our players are excited. It's not a distraction. To me, I'm like, hey, they'll go out there and might give me a little more, play a little bit harder for the fact of, hey, let's send Coach Sam out on an unbelievable ride, and let's get back to a Final Four. So I don't consider that a distraction. I'm just really excited for her. I think she's going to do a really good job. She's got a very good basketball mind. She understands the importance of hiring people to help support. And that's the same thing that we've done here. I have Steph Norman on staff for 12 years who's remarkable at all phases of coaching. And then we brought on Sam, and then Sam Purcell, Michelle Clark-Hurd, who's doing a wonderful job at Cincinnati. They're about to play in the Sweet 16 of the NIT. So just really, really excited for her. Our basketball team, I promise you, we are dialed in, focused, and ready to go. We have the utmost respect for Oregon State. It's a team that we may have surprised a little bit last year in that Elite Eight game with our athleticism and our quickness, which is now not going to be a surprise. I can remember Scott commenting on that in their post-game press conference about how, I tried to tell them how quick they were and how fast they play, but you can watch it on film, but until you experience it yourself, it's different. And I think Michigan experienced the same thing. But Oregon State now, having played us once, being last year, it's not going to be a surprise. So we have the utmost respect for them. Scott's a great coach, and we know it's going to be a great ball game on Friday night if I'm able to stay up for the second half. Yeah.
We'll start with
The time of the game as the number 1 seed, your thoughts?
It was the same thing as last year. We played it. I mean, it's scheduled. It says, 30 minutes after the first game, it says 9 o'clock. Well, the first game's not getting over until 9, if you're lucky. So we're looking at a 9:30 tip, and that's exactly what happened last year to us, too. And, I thought it affected our crowd more, which is just, it's one of the frustrating things to me. It's like, okay, so we're in Albany, which is, UConn, which is great. I have the utmost respect for Gino, but they're putting them on at the 7 o'clock game for their crowd to make sure it's a good, crowd in there. But then when we played here last year, ours is a 9:30 game. So there's just, when you look at it like that, it's like, hey, golly. But at the same time, I mean, these kids, it's not like they're in bed by 9:30. I might be, but they aren't.
Do you feel the need to even address with your team the Tennessee stuff, or you feel like you've been through that
We've
before,
already
years
talked
ago?
about it. Just, when we go to practice, I told Dana, she texted me last night, I said, I'm kind of holding out for the Lakers maybe. I mean, it starts up every year. So they understand it. I told them just lose it. It won't be an issue.
Is there any sense for you that you want to be Louisville's Pat Summitt? You want to, because all the history here is, you mentioned it earlier, but I mean,
Oh yeah, we've done a wonderful job here. I mean, the 12 years has been remarkable. I mean, I don't think anybody anticipated to be where we are right now. I mean, I don't think anybody in this room thought, that first off you'd be covering it. And now look what's going on here. The room's full. So yeah, I mean, we have had a wonderful time here. We're recruiting well. The kids are excited, and our goal is to keep this thing going and win a national championship. It's the one thing that's left for us to do. Now, it's not as easy as everybody might think it is.
Have you heard from the Lakers?
Not yet. Not yet. I thought you might know somebody. I mean, it's just amazing. It's at all levels. It's just not. It's all levels of sports where the rumors start going around. They're getting fired. He's getting that job. They're getting that job. And then at the end of the day, about 3% of them actually happen. I keep telling our kids all the time, stop worrying about the things you can't control, because about 90% of the things you worry about never happen. So don't worry about it.
After the Michigan game, have Sam and Erica practice this week? Any affection playing, anything like that at all?
Yeah, no, Sam said she felt great. Sam was out, practice full go yesterday. Obviously, we took Monday off. Erica practiced, I'd say about 2/3 of the day yesterday, but looked good. Said she was sore after the game, which I anticipated. She hadn't played in 2 weeks or really done much in 2 weeks. But what she told me was, when she gets loose, when she sits down and cools down is when it's harder to get going again. So that's why I just kept her out there as long as I could. I said, well, we'll just keep you out there until you fall over. And she was like, that sounds good to me. So I thought she did a great job. Then at halftime, she was on the bike, staying loose, so she didn't get stiff. But, our training staff's done a remarkable job making sure that all of our players are taken care of immediately after the games, ice baths and treatment, whatever it might be. And, I haven't had a chance to see her yet today, but I haven't heard anything that she will not practice today.
Coach, you mentioned that you played Oregon State, obviously, last year in the Elite Eight, but this is a little different Oregon State team. They don't have down the post anymore. What have you seen from them, and what's different about them that you're going to have to be ready for on Friday?
Well, they've still got a 6'8" in the post. So she hadn't started the past 2 games, but she does play significant minutes. So they still have great size. And then they added Destiny Slocum, She was a transfer from Maryland. I think she was National Freshman of the Year. Her 1 year at Maryland, I actually had the opportunity to coach her. I think it was the U19 team about four years ago. Very, very explosive, great basketball IQ. Reminds me a little bit of Shoney when she was here. She's fearless. She'll shoot it whenever she's open. Just knows how to play the game. So she's added, a little bit more to them at the guard spot. But then they return a lot of those guards from that team that obviously went to the Elite Eight. So you aren't bad. I mean, if you're getting to the Sweet 16, you're a pretty darn good basketball team.
And with Oregon State, their two games this past weekend were both close games that went down to the wire. When you face a team like that that's had to pull out those two tough games, does it give you any more concern that this is a team that's tested and that's been able to find a way to win?
No, I mean, it's one of those. They don't panic, and it's not the only times that they've done that this year. They've had a few games where they've been down and clawed their way back, just kept fighting. And you have to figure out ways to win at this time of the year, and that's what I've got to give them credit for. I mean, they're down 4 with 16 seconds to go against Boise. Score on a sideline out of bounds play, and then get the turnover on the inbounds pass for a jump ball. Then they score on that, and then they win in overtime. So. It's the one thing that I will say is they aren't going to give up. They're not. We aren't going to get up on them and then they're going to roll over. So we expect it to be a 40-minute game.
Against Michigan, you had Kylie Shook starting, I think, because of a matchup, a better matchup. Do you anticipate that Kylie might get to start again over Bianca against Oregon State?
You know what? We are looking at that, trying to just do a little chess match to figure out who they're going to go with. So I'll have them both prepared to start. But at the same time, we might, if they go big, we'll definitely go with Kylie. If they don't, then we might go with Bianca. So it's just a matter of trying to figure out what we think they might do.
Coach, obviously with the good result last year against Oregon State, is it one of those things where if it ain't broke, don't fix it? Or do you kind of recycle that game plan, or do you just kind of start from scratch?
Well, I mean, we obviously will go back and look at it. I mean, we'll try to do some of the same things. We'd love for the same outcome, but, I mean, I'm not expecting that. But they are a different team. Also, we're a different team. Maisha, played extremely well in that game. Her strength and physicality on their post player really kind of affected her. Now she's graduated also, so that's a help. But, Kylie and Bianca have been playing well. It's one thing I talk about all the time, like Michigan out rebounds Kansas State 50-19, and all of a sudden, oh my gosh, we're going to get killed. And we out rebounded them 36-35 or 35-34. So every game presents something different. So we will go into it. We've looked at the game from last year just to see, okay, what did we do defensively? What worked for us? But at the same time, I know Scott well enough that he's looked at it also and said, okay, what could we have done differently? So it's going to be a game that's going to present its own challenges and its own unique challenges, because we'll have to. Scott's really good. I've always been impressed with the way he coaches, and it's going to be a chess match. We're going to try to counter each other and try to figure out what we can do to have success, and he's going to be doing the same thing. We're both not the types of coaches that will just stick with one thing. If it's not working, just, too bad, we're going to stick with it. No, we'll both change up often.
I wonder yesterday, what was your thoughts? Was it like, all right, here we go again kind of thing? And do you think when rumors like that start and when things like that happen, that your kids right away and even your fans understand you're in this because you've been to 9?
Well, yeah, I mean,
12 years?
that's part of it. I mean, it's the good and the bad. You win, and that's part of the business. But, I really don't worry about it. I'm not going to worry about it. I've got a game to prepare for. I'll talk to the kids today. I've talked to a few of them. They've texted me, and I'm like, guys, you don't like me anyway. And then they're all like, yeah, that's true. No, I mean, so we'll sit there and address it, take care of it. We're going to be more excited for Coach Williams today than anything else. That's the first thing we're going to talk about, because they, Eastern released it early this morning, and and she didn't get a chance to tell everyone, because with social media now and everything, somebody says something to somebody else, and before you know it's out before they release it, and that's the last thing you want. So we'll celebrate that today, then briefly discuss the rumors, and then start practicing.
You mentioned the goals to win the national championship here. Do you have everything? Do you need anything else to be able to get there?
We got to just keep recruiting. I mean, it's players. It all comes down to the ability to get players. And then you got to have a little luck too. I don't care what anybody says. When you get to the Sweet 16, Elite 8, Final Four, you got to have a little luck. Last year, the luck wasn't in our favor. We just all year we'd done a remarkable job of switching screens, and we just didn't. And they hit a great shot, and then we've got a layup and a putback that 99 out of 100 times it goes in, and it doesn't. So we just got to keep recruiting players.
How much, I know, a lot has to have for you to play UConn, but how much confidence do you think it gives your kids knowing that you've played them and beat them this year? Because it had been so long since.
Well, no, it definitely is not a bad thing. But obviously, we got to win the first one first. That's all we're concerned about. You can't look past anyone. I'm looking at that region, and I'm going, UCLA is playing as well as they've been playing all year. They looked really darn good in the Maryland first and second rounds. I can guarantee you, Gino's not up there worrying about the Elite 8 game. He's preparing for UCLA because they're playing as well as anybody.
But does it give you, I guess normally, if you went in
You
there,
need to use the microphone.
No, but in the past, if you looked at that bracket, you might think, oh gosh, we've got them,
Oh yeah,
they're
time
better,
to
so we're not going to get out of here.
It's parity's getting better and better. I know everybody says, "Oh no, it's not. You still got this." No, it is. It used to be, and you're right. I'm in that region. I'll plan my vacation. Now there's a puncher's chance. You're going into it, with a battle on hand. We played them in January. They're a great basketball team. We played really well. If we play that way, we can compete with anybody. But again, it's not going to matter if we don't win on Friday night. And that's what I've talked to my team about. They understand that. It's one thing I'll say about this group of young women. They're not going to underestimate anyone. Because as I've said it all along, they understand our margin for error is thin. We can't just look past somebody. We're not always going to have the best 5 players on the floor in terms of where they were ranked out of high school, but we feel really good about the pieces we put together, and they complement each other extremely well.
Do you think what has happened, and I know last week you said you were worried about your bracket, but looking at the whole bracket, do you feel like what's happened has been good for the game of women's basketball with some of the upsets?
Oh, I think it's great for the game. I think, and it's not the first year it's taken place. You had Central Michigan and Buffalo, in the Sweet 16 last year, and now you've got Missouri State. Congratulations to Kyle Motes, at Missouri State, and Kelly Jolly. Kyle, I still stay in touch with him. I think that's a great run for their program. And it's good for our game. It really is, and that's what makes it exciting. We've had a lot of great games. The same thing on the men's side. You look at Central Florida and Duke. It goes down to the wire. Now, I think, a lot of people were probably excited that Duke won, but what an unbelievable game for Central Florida.
And you mentioned keep getting players. You have a McDonald's All-American playing tonight. How important is that for the brand to have your name on that screen when they announce the starters or the players tonight in the game?
No, it's important. Now at the same time, Angel McCoughtry won the McDonald's All-American. I think she's done all right. So it's nice to be able to have a player of the caliber of Nia Green, believing in our program and committed as early as she did. And it does look good. It does let all the other kids that you might be recruiting know, hey, I can be a McDonald's All-American if I go to Louisville, because a lot of them right now, that's what they want to be. It's like, I want to be a McDonald's All-American. And the neat thing about it is When they become a junior, you ask them, name the players that were McDonald's All-American coming out of high school your senior year, and they can name about 5. I go, so, focus on what's going to be the best for you. But yeah, we are really excited about all 3 of them in the class we're excited about.
Coach, a couple questions for you about Erica Carter. What does she bring to your team on the court? And then second part, what type of person is she off of it?
AC's a great young lady. I've been impressed with AC. I'd say out of 10, there's probably 1 that would have been able to bounce back and play this past weekend. She just refused the thought of not playing at home in that second round game. And she put the work into it. She went to rehab. She did everything she was told to do. And I'm just really proud of her because she's a huge impact for our ball club. Now, she went 1 for 8. It's not like she, shot it great, but what she does, she brings just a poise to our team. She knows where everybody's supposed to be. She gets everybody in the right spots, and then she's really good at finding the open man. If it can be Durr, it could be Dana, it might be Sam, whoever it might be. She gets them the ball early when they're shot ready, and that's why we have success when she's out there.
And off the court, what's she like?
Oh, she's great. They all are. What's unique is we have a melting pot here. We have players from all over the country. It's just fun because everybody brings something different. And I think that's what makes our team as close as we are because we talk about it from day one. Everybody doesn't have to be the same, but you have to learn to respect each other's differences. And that's what these players do. They really take the time to get to know each other. And okay, you might like something that I don't, but if we can respect each other, then it's okay. I've said it all before, we have great conversations, political. It doesn't matter, and it's okay to have different opinions. Especially within our team, our staff, we talk about it all the time. I think that's what's wrong with our country right now, is if somebody doesn't believe the same thing that you believe, there's something wrong with you. No, it's okay to have a different opinion. And we used to be able to have different opinions, but unfortunately now, if you don't believe what the person next to you believes, you're exiled. It's terrible. That's my rant. There you go.
You said
You want more? I'll
sometimes-
give you more. I'm just kidding.
You said sometimes you might not have the best 5 players on the floor, but a lot of times you're going to have the best player. You went through it with Angel, with Asia now. How much of a difference can that make in these big time tournament games?
Well, it's big. You definitely. It's nice to have a player like a Shoney, Asia, Angel that can go out and get buckets. It's one thing we talk about. You've got to have some players that can go just get baskets. And she can do that. But this time of the year, it's going to be somebody that somebody's not expecting that's going to be the player that's going to get us past the Sweet 16. I thought Jasmine Jones played phenomenal in our second round game. They did not guard her, which I understand. If you look at her throughout the year, it's like that's the gamble. Like, hey, make her make outside shots. But I thought she played extremely well, and then all of a sudden when she starts making them, it opens it up for everybody else.
A couple of months ago, Gino said that we kind of sucked this year. They're a number 2 seed, and a lot of people seem to be upset about that. How many teams do you think legitimately can contend for the national title?
I think if you look at this year's group, it's a great question. Anybody can at this point in time. When you're here, anybody can. But, from having played Notre Dame firsthand, they're playing as well as anybody in the country right now. You might have 10 to 12. But I honestly think on the right night would have a chance to win a championship. And that's really all that it comes down to. The best team doesn't always win it. It's whoever's playing the best that night. That's why it's so exciting. I say it all the time. It's why it's March Madness. Everybody loves it. On the men's side, our side. If it's a best of 7, some of the drama's taken out of it. Because normally the best team's going to win a best of 7 series. But one game, anything can happen. Thank you, everybody. Oh, one more. Charlie, one more.
You've said in the past several times that the only way you would leave Louisville would be to get fired or to retire.
I might be getting fired. Who knows?
So people should rest easy.
You know what? There's no job open. That's the one thing. I mean, everybody wants to ask questions. If the Lakers come open, I might leave. I will tell you that. If they offer me the job, I would be gone. So if I could coach LeBron, which I don't think they'll call me, if it happens, I would leave. And if I win the Powerball on Wednesday night too, I might be finished.
There is a concern with your fan base. There's a
You know what? It's been going on for 4 years though. After a while, it gets old from my side too. You know, if something happens, then come call me. I'll talk to you all about it. But right now, it's like it never ends. So we'll just go from there. But if I pick the right six tonight, if I pick the right six tonight, people, I might not see you anymore.
Who's the guy with your salary need to play the Powerball?
What are you talking about? That's retirement plan.
You don't have enough?
I don't put it into the retirement. I put it into the Powerball. I took your advice that one day. You don't play it?
Never.
You lie.
Never bought
No
one.
way. I
Never
don't
bought a
believe
lottery
it.
ticket,
It's not
ever.
worth a $2 investment?
25 minutes.
700 and not, what is it now?
It's not an investment.
Yes, it is an investment.
Oh, yeah.
I tell my wife, somebody's got to win. It might as well be me.
So is Stephanie on backup then? So.
Well, I called her the one night when my first number popped up. I said, I only need 5 more. And then the second one wasn't, or the third, or the fourth. No. You've never played it?
Never played the lottery.
Oh, I'll put $2. I'm like, 1 ticket. I'm gonna keep 20 million and then give out the rest.
2.
It just, not,
People on the
just
street?
people that, hey, if you've been good to me and you're a good person, I might give you a check for $1 million, who knows? You know? And then, I mean, that's, what's after taxes, about 500 or 400 and something now, are they saying?
A little more than half, it's about 55, 60%.
So let's say
I've checked it
let's
out.
say it's 400 and something million. So I'm just gonna take 20 and then I'm gonna give the rest out and I'd have fun. That'd be fun.
I got a
Can I give
question
you my
for you
name
that I
now?
asked Charlie Scott.
Would I give you some? No, I'm not sure yet.
No,
Okay.
I couldn't take it. How do you feel about the song Rocky Top?
That's great. You know what? It's a catchy song. You know, I think Michigan's fight song is one of the best
Yeah.
in the game. Like when at our game on Sunday, I was like, okay, this is pretty impressive. I'd say Rocky Top's top 5. Who else in fight songs?
Notre Dame.
Notre Dame.
Notre Dame, yeah. Yep. Yeah, they are. That is, Notre Dame's is top 2. But I think Michigan's, I'm just telling you. When it came, I was like,
Keith Jackson. I'm like,
oh yeah. You guys are more than welcome to come watch if you like.
You know, the thing about that fight song, they're the champions of the West. California was a state when that song was written.
The champions of the what now?
The champions of the West. Hail to the victors.
Oh,
That's the name.
Yeah.
He's literally been
He's in
doing
Ohio
this.
State for the last